Today I've just been horsing around with little odds and ends on the car. I'll kind of show you what I've been doing. I'm going to start maybe working on the exhaust system today. I'm waiting on the axle seals. They're supposed to be here Friday. And then I'll put the axles and the brakes on. I got to clean the last 2 or 3 inches of the tubes out by the seals because I couldn't reach all the way in when I was cleaning them out. So I figured when I pull the seals, I'll clean that last little bit out. And put the new seals in, put the shafts, backing plate shafts, brakes, get them bled. But in the meantime, like I say, I'm going to work on the exhaust. I made sure all the parking brake cables are free, and they are. You can push them in, they spring back, just super easy. I can't do it with them just hanging free. And made that all look nice and pretty so it doesn't look like heck under there. And I filled the differential with gear lube. Just clacked my head on the corner of the gas tank. Anyway, yeah, so, and I painted that little bracket and put that back on. And just waiting on, like I say, those seals. I'll show you here. Hang on. Those seals right there. As soon as I get them, I can start, I can clean. It's clean to about here. You can see where it widens or narrows down there. And I got a little bit into there, and I just couldn't reach any further, but I can get in there with my fingers easily, so I can get all that cleaned out. I'll just take some rags and lacquer thinner and wipe that last little bit out, and we'll be good to go. That's what I just clacked my head on. I also got all this stuff cleaned up. I'm not reusing these. I got new ones, and even cleaned the bolts that hold the wheel cylinders in. So it's all, these springs are replacing those ones. Obviously these are replacing the brake adjuster cables. So these are all brake parts. As soon as like I say, I'm just waiting on axle shaft seals, and then I can get the ball rolling on that. So if any of you are wondering what gear lube I'm using, this is what I got in it now. I think it's like a 75 W90. I'm going to run this for a few hundred miles and then change it out. Maybe get it broke in, maybe 500 or so. And then I'll change the gear oil out in it again. Yeah, drivetrain specialist told me to run regular gear oil in it, not to run a synthetic, because the synthetic won't break in as quick and easy. To break it in properly, I need just regular crude oil, gear oil. They suggested a 75 W90 because I was asking about running like a full synthetic in it, but they said break it in first, so that's what I'm going to do. Well, here it is. So these are the header pipes. That's the rest of the H pipe. Those are the pipes that go from the mufflers up to those that go over the axle and the 2 tail pipes. So hopefully everything fits. It's going to be a bit of work because I'm going to have to block or do something to hold the pipes in place. I put it together, and then I'm going to lower it down, weld it, and then I'm going to weld everything. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of work, so I'm going to just start putzing with it. I don't think I'm going to be able to video under the car with this. It's camera and tripod don't fit under the car, and I don't have a hoist, and these pipes are long and they're going to take up a lot of space. So I'm just going to plug away at it. So they're all labeled and marked. Every pipe has a letter, a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and line everything up for this H pipe, and I'm just going to tack it. And then I'll put it under the car, make sure it fits, and if it doesn't, I'll grind the tack off and adjust it to where it does, and then I'll retack it. And then once everything's fitting and tacked up, I'll pull it out from under the car and weld everything up solid. I just tacked together the 2 joints here just to kind of get the pipes. I didn't tack this joint, the one where the H is. I'm going to put it up under the car. Both these are the manifolds. Make sure everything's good, and if it is, I'll tack this, hang the mufflers, hang the tailpipes, make sure everything fits right. And if it does, I'll take all this down. I'll weld this and this solid, and then I'll put this back on, put the mufflers back on, tailpipes, double check that all these welds are good. Then I'll tack the mufflers and the tailpipes, and then I'll drop it back down. Probably have to weld it under the car, but I can drop it down to where I can get around it easily. Problem number one. I'm already running into problems, haven't even got it on the car. These holes are too close together, so they don't fit over the studs. You know, I mean, they're off by 1/8 of an inch at least. So I gotta hog those out. What next, huh? Both of them are exactly the same too. I had to file those holes out on where the pipes go on the manifold so that they would fit over the studs, but I just got this one hanging here. Looks like it'll all fit good. It's actually going together pretty good. So far, nice. Did I ever mention that I hate doing exhaust work? I don't know what I dislike more, sanding or exhaust work. They're both not on the top of my list of things I enjoy doing. But I think it's going to look pretty darn good. That fits pretty nice. I'm going to get a muffler out and just kind of stuff it on there. I got to fix the brackets, the hanger brackets. The right one's been cut, so I think I'm going to take it out from under the car, grind the rivet off. I'll show you when I get to it, and then I'm going to weld the hanger to it. I'll bead blast it and hang it back up, bare metal. So when I go to, I can hold the exhaust up where I want it with the trans jack, get the hanger clamp and everything on the exhaust, and then I can, you know, with it right where I want it, and then weld it, and then I'll put the tailpipes on. So I'm getting the pipe up and around here, clearing that bar and the shock, and just kind of have it haphazardly held up in place. So I got to fix this. Somebody had cut this tailpipe hanger, so I'm going to grind this rivet off and bead blast this, and I'm going to weld a hanger to it until I can find a correct hanger. I got one of these universal jobs, you know, and I'll cut it to whatever length it needs to be the right length, and weld it directly to this. That'll make it easier to weld. So this will be hanging under the car like, you know, like this, I believe, and then I can weld this to wherever I need to. You know, I can cut that off, and just make it look a little better, I think, using the original bracket. This is what the original exhaust hanger looks like. This is the left-hand tail or muffler hanger. So this is where the pipe goes in. And I was just trying to figure out how long I needed to make the other one so they match. And it looks like if I'm holding this up to where the pipe goes right there, and I want the pipe to go right here, that's kind of where I made my mark, because I want to weld this to the top of the other one. But I'm going to get this side together and make double sure, because this may pull down, and I just want them the same. I gave the hanger a quick bead blast, just make it look a little better. This is the tailpipe hanger for the left side of the car, and I just kind of held it up there, and I can't do this with one hand and holding the camera here at the same time, but maybe I can, I don't know. That's where it goes, right there. So I think this hanger is in really beat up condition, and the rubber's not too good. So I'm going to cut that rivet, straighten that bracket, and I'm going to save this, because if I find some rubber, I can, you know, repair this. But in the meantime, I can weld something like this on it just for a hanger for now. I just hung the bumper there haphazardly just to kind of get an idea where the tailpipe would be hanging. And it looks pretty darn good. I had that hanger was compromised pretty badly. This is the original piece that I ground off. And if I can find, get some rubber like that, I can grind that rivet and save all the metal bits. And I can put this hanger back up with some bolts. But for now, let me get a light. For now, that's the hanger. And it's clearing the shock absorber, all the diff stuff. It's just tacked. I didn't weld anything up. That's the original, factory original hanger still. And then the muffler. And then it goes all the way, that's the parking brake cable you see looped around, goes all the way up to the front there. So I'm going to, this side's completely tacked. It's not welded solid, it's just tacked up. So I'm gonna work on the other side. The other side I gotta make both hangers. The bracket, this, as you saw, I bead blasted, this part of the bracket is there, but none of this is there. But I wanted to know the distance. I needed things, so that's why I hung this side first, and I used again this to gauge the distance here. And so everything looks like it's hanging where it originally hung. So let's I'm going to work on the other side now. This is the muffler hanger that that was completely, it was cut where the rubber was cut. The tailpipe hanger is missing on the, this is the right hand side. So I made this so it would be the same length as the left hand hanger. I measured from the pipe to the bracket, and I made this one the same, and I tacked it, hung to make sure it looked good, and it did. So I welded it up solid. Now I'm going to throw it on, then I'm going to start working on the tailpipe hanger. Alright, I got everything pretty much well done, except there's a broken bolt for the hanger on this, and I've tried to weld a nut to it and back it out, and I tried to drill it. There's really no room to get a drill in here, so I'm just calling it a day. And I'm going to blow it off the plasma cutter, blow it out of there with the plasma cutter tomorrow. I'm just done horsing with it. I've been fooling with it for probably 45 minutes, but the exhaust is all just tacked, except for this tailpipe is not tacked, but everything else is just kind of tacked, and I'll show you underneath too. Alright, there we go. The parking brake cables are just hanging loosely because, I'll adjust them once the brakes are on, but you can kind of see the system. So we're getting there. So tomorrow I'll get that broken bolt out and that tailpipe hanger on and get the tailpipe tacked and make sure everything's all good, straight and even. And when it's all good, I'll weld the thing up solid. I just kind of Mickey Mouse threw the bumper on. I just wanted to kind of get an idea where the tailpipes this bumper's side's falling down, but I just want them even, pointing out evenly, so I'll bolt the bumper on a little better, and then I'll open the garage door and stand back and look before I weld everything up solid. But it looks pretty darn good. So that's it for today's video a day. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see this car running in the next, I don't know when it's going to be. My brother's been asking me to come out and help weld some rocker panels on his winter beater, which is a Jeep Liberty. So maybe, I don't know. I'm going to try and get the exhaust. If I don't get it done tomorrow, I'll get it done the next day, weld it up, and then I'm going to overhaul the carburetor, and then we'll crank it up. So again, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see this thing running, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching my videos.